Thanks, Paul, for your kind words. And I have to say, I'm coming to the podium completely deflated because my previous speakers, who've all been absolutely brilliant, have pretty much said everything that I am going to say. However, I am going to say it in the context of a tidal energy developer, so I hope this creates a little bit more reality, and that's a word that I think you'll hear me use throughout this, that this is a bit of a reality check as to what's actually happening, certainly in my sector, which is marine renewable energy. I'm going to do the who are we. I think this is important because we're an Irish-based company, and just to understand the context of this idea of clustering and of using all the resources available to us, I think it's important to say who we are. So Open Hydro, we're an Irish technology company. We bought the exclusive rights to the Open Centre turbine back in 2004, and we've been developing it ever since. And if we're talking about growth and this idea of the new industries emerging, then certainly marine technology and marine renewable energy, which I've been involved with for the past 13 years, is certainly an area that's promulgating a lot of growth. And as a company, we're up to over 100 people now, a substantial size, and we're based in Ireland. So where have we come from? We've heard the European Marine Energy Centre, EMEC, mentioned on a number of occasions. We were actually the first technology to deploy into that test centre, and it's been absolutely integral to the development of the technology. I think what's really important here is to understand the groups that came together to deliver this test centre, to give us an opportunity to get technology in the water. And we've all heard about data and the need for good resolution data, the need for real time at a bench and real time in the ocean. And that's what the European Marine Energy Centre has given to Open Hydro. So we were absolutely delighted to be involved in that, and we've been there since 2006. This platform here is a research facility, and as you would have seen from the Plocan, the importance of actually being in the water and having time to put your technology through the rigours of a dynamic environment is absolutely priceless. You can't do this anywhere else in the world at the moment, and this has been absolutely integral to the development of our technology. A quick trot through where we've come from. So we started at a 3-metre scale hydraulically driven machine. We managed to find out some interesting things from that. We then scaled up to 6 metres, deployed at the European Marine Energy Centre, and we've been putting iterative turbines onto that test centre ever since. So we're up to number 7. So the OCT 0607, 6 metres in diameter, 250 kilowatt rated machine. And that's scaled down in order, and we've heard more about the idea of scaling and getting things in the water, kit in the water. Everything we do at the 6-metre scale in the European Marine Energy Centre is designed to give us the engineering understanding and the evidence-based approach to scale up to bigger machines. So in 2009 and 10, we've been deploying much bigger machines, both at the 10-metre scale in the Bay of Fundy in Canada, and also in France at the 16-metre scale, which is a 2.2 megawatt rated machine. The importance, again, we've talked about cost, and I'm very conscious of time here and everyone wanting to get to lunch, but this is absolutely critical. And where we've learned from other industries, where we've learned from other companies, other clusters, other groups, in terms of installation costs, capital costs for getting your kit in the water. And the only way we've been able to do this for us in terms of looking at the balance sheet, looking at how we're developing technology, is a fully submerged technology. So this is a modular-made barge that's specific to Open Hydro. We developed this ourselves. We now have 2 of them. It's a gravity-based foundation, so a very heavy 400-ton concrete-filled base that allows us to put this technology on the seabed. And we think that's absolutely critical. So I'm going to explore, just in the next couple of slides, how we've come about making these decisions. And we've heard about the financial decisions, the technology decisions, the R&D decisions, absolutely critical. And all of those things pull together to give you a viable technology and a viable business. In terms of installation, this is in the Bay of Fundy in Canada. When we're talking about a global market, this is the Open Hydro installer, which is our modular barge, in the Bay of Fundy in Canada for the installation of one megawatt machine in the Bay of Fundy. Really, you're looking at a global market, you're looking at a global industry, and I'll touch on that again. We required strong support from the R&D facilities over in Nova Scotia and the ability to build and operate these turbines. So those ideas of maritime experience and people who can help us get this technology in the water has been absolutely critical. And again, it's drawing on experience already built within industries. I think this is important. It's not just about getting the technology to stage, and we're touching on reality here again. We often hear the words with marine renewable technology as being embryonic, a new technology, all brand new, and I understand David Cameron was here a few weeks ago saying exactly the same thing. Not so, simply not so. This has been moving forward for a number of years now, and we're at a technology readiness level where we consider it to be pre-commercial. And I'll show you some of the investments, some of the large OEMs that are starting to get involved in these projects. They've been around for a long time, and just because they're not commercial yet doesn't mean that we do not have an industry that's working already. Huge amounts of money invested into the likes of Orkney. I think we're at about 11 million euros into that economy, into a small island economy on the basis of marine technology. And that's from my own company. That's not including the specific companies and all the different companies that are testing there. So the revenue streams, the value creation, the job creation here, it could be absolutely immense. So there's a real reality check here, and I constantly, if we're talking about pulling out soapboxes around this being a new and emerging industry, emerging yes, but embryonic I simply will not accept. So just in terms of the commercial projects, very, very important if you're looking for investment, we're looking to take this industry forward, we have to have a motorway, we have to have somewhere to go, and this is about your strategy and being driven towards getting this industry moving forward. And certainly we've looked at project pipeline alongside technology development in order to bring this forward, and these are some of the areas that we're investing in and building projects. Again, global market. If you look at how we're spread from the west coast of the US down into the Channel Islands and into France and the coastline of northern France, we're trying to develop projects in all of those areas. And if you look at the project development timelines and the timescales it takes to get technology in the water, starting this industry now is important. If you look at each of those projects and imagine the number of people, the amount of resources, the amount of R&D, the amount of technology development that we've had to undertake to even get to this stage, it's enormous, it's huge, and it requires capital funding and it requires everybody to move together in the same direction. I wanted to touch on Northern Ireland because we're here today and I think it's very important. We have a project in Northern Ireland, Tidal Ventures, which is a JV with Bord Gáis. We've been developing this project since, early 2011. And really we're looking at a site not too far away from here for a 100 megawatt development. Now if you imagine 100 megawatts could equate to 50 machines, it could equate to 80 machines depending on the rating, the size of those machines. This is the reality. These projects are ongoing, and I often speak in terms of both the wave and tidal industry. There are project development happening all over the world, and they require the support of a large range of people in order to make these work. So we're very excited about this project. We're ongoing through a development stage, as I know you'll hear from others this afternoon. A lengthy process that requires a lot of data, a lot of sea time, a lot of investment to get you to a point where not only can you get consent for the project, but also you can build the project from an engineering perspective. We all know how difficult it is to work in these environments, times that by 10 when you're working in a dynamic tidal environment. So touching on some ADP work that we're doing, and developing the technology. One of the things that we've done a lot of work in parallel with groups who develop the actual kit that's going in the water, but also how you analyse, how you take that data and how you pull it apart and put it together for your own purposes. A lot of work around that, and there are teams within the marine renewable industry that are working very closely with people who manufacture the equipment to look forward. Where do we go next? What do we need? What's the next piece of equipment that can help us feed into the design and the engineering of these technologies? So that integration, that clustering, that need for collaboration is absolutely immense. Just in terms of ADCP, absolutely critical to what we do. If we don't understand the resource, we can not only not design the turbines, but we won't be able to do any financial modelling. So this data and the data quality, the level of quality that you can extract from marine environments, absolutely critical to the development of the industry. Again, surveying and this idea of combined use of platforms that Cormac was talking about, absolutely critical, and where we find the data, the desk-based assessment. I'm absolutely sure with the closer collaboration and closer use of communication, which is absolutely critical, a lot of these surveys would never be required, and a lot of the capital investment that goes into them could be put into technology development. We need to work more closely about how we get this data, its end users, and how we can collaborate on funding data collection at sea. It is hugely cost intensive. Again, I think I'm going to be on a soapbox again about the scarcity of high-resolution data. There's a lot of good work if we look at the government-led approaches and survey vessels going out to sea. But again, I think there's huge opportunities here for actually deriving really high-quality data that has a number of end users. And it's about that communication. It's about being able to understand which data sources are required by which industry needs, and I think we miss a lot of tricks on this. So there's a huge opportunity here with the likes of SmartOcean, IMERC, and other working groups in the UK, the States, and when we talk about repositories for data, where we're going to keep it and how we're going to use it, I think close collaboration internationally will be absolutely critical. Another area, and again, my thunder was stolen in terms of getting people with marine operational experience, time at sea. We have some hugely talented resources in terms of people that have come out of university with fantastic degrees in electrical engineering, mechanical engineering. People need to go to sea, and people need to understand what it's like to operate in a marine environment. My background is oil and gas and working off the west coast of Africa. Until you've had time throwing things over the side and spending time at sea, it's very difficult to operate with this type of technology. So we need those people that are highly trained, that are highly academic, but have those practical skills. And again, it's about the training and bringing those people through. And I absolutely agree with former speakers in terms of having the right people to understand the marine ops and how we're going to work going forward. So just what do we need next? So I'm going to gallop through the next slides. This is really about the future. Where do we go? The reality is we're getting there. We're starting to develop an industry. It's looking like it's going to be very promising. Certainly in terms of development, technology, getting feet in the water, it's really starting to happen quite quickly. Where do we go next? And it's about that supply chain and expertise. It's about getting together with other groups, understanding what it takes to put an array of these turbines in the water, and getting the correct partners. We need first arrays. I'm warmed by the fact that a lot of the regulatory bodies are now looking at providing areas for small arrays. Absolutely critical. And we know within the research community there's some work looking at hydrodynamics, at the inter-effects of turbines. I think we'll find when we get kit in the water that will be even more expanded in terms of the understanding of how this kit interacts with each other. Securing capital, being positive. Let's drop the word embryonic. This is a reality, it's a real industry, and it has huge potential for job creation, for research development, and for funding through Horizon 2020 in terms of really raising the awareness of marine energy and marine technology going forward. The reality check, industrial future. We were very lucky to secure partners in DCNS. They are a huge company, over 13,000 people. This is the type of company that needs to be involved in the deployment and development of marine technology going forward. Getting these guys on board means a positive message. It means collaboration. It means all of that good stuff in terms of taking this industry forward. It was not an easy sell. There are other industries looking at producing electricity that would be far more favourable to marine. It is expensive. But we need to be positive about what this means in terms of supply chain, industry. It's not just about a generator and who's going to be operating it. It's about this industry creation and the job creation and capacity creation going forward.